Привет, it's Michael Denner here. I wanted to take a little time here in the digital world to introduce the Russian alphabet to you so that we can dive right in during class and start reading Russian print. You see it here on the screen. It's the Русский алфавит, the Russian alphabet. A lot of people will say that Russians use Cyrillic. That's true, but it's also not true. Cyrillic is it's a broader term. There are a lot of different alphabets, national, ethno-linguistic alphabets that are part of this larger family called Cyrillic. Cyrillic includes alphabets, obviously like the Russian alphabet, but it also has the Ukrainian alphabet, the Belarusian alphabet, the Serbian alphabet. The Kyrgyz in Central Asia use a Cyrillic alphabet. Lots of countries in Eastern Europe use a Cyrillic alphabet. Obviously, Russia uses a Cyrillic alphabet. Let me observe that by and large, the Cyrillic alphabet is tightly connected to the Slavic people. That word Slavic refers to a large, I guess we could say, ethno-linguistic group that is situated all over Eastern Europe and Russia. But not all Slavs use Cyrillic. For example, an obvious exception here would be the Poles, who use the Latin alphabet just like we English speakers, but they speak a Slavic language. Moreover, the Cyrillic alphabet is used by other ethno-linguistic groups. The Cyrillic alphabet is used all over Central Asia to represent languages there. So you don't have to be a Slav to use the Cyrillic alphabet, and just because you use the Cyrillic alphabet doesn't make you a Slav. And there are also important groups of non-Slavs who use the Cyrillic alphabet, so you have to keep all these things straight. Looking at this alphabet, we have 33 letters. That's a lot of things to learn, and whenever you're presented with a mass of new information, the first thing that you should try to do is you should try to set up relations with information that you already know. Basically categories like this is just like something I know, or this is something like something I already know, or this is nothing like something I already know. And so that's what I'm going to do with you right now is we're going to break up these 33 letters into categories that will help you to analyze and apprehend these letters more rapidly. I've been doing this for 15, 16 years now. I've taught lots and lots of students the Russian alphabet, and I think I understand pretty well how the categories work for most students, although you are, of course, more than welcome to set up your own categories. Let's look at a different screen here. I've used this. I don't even know where I got it many years ago. This representation of the Russian alphabet. It offers us in the first column here the printed version, the block version, which Russians use when they print, although Russians don't print very often, or when they use computers inside of books. There's also a почерк, a cursive representation of Russian that you see in this second column here. This is how Russians write cursive. Most Russians, when they write with a pen or a pencil, they write in cursive, and they all have very good handwriting by and large, unlike us Americans. Here we have another column that gives us the pronounced value of that letter. I don't really agree with all of these pronunciation values, and we'll discuss them as we go through each individual letter. And finally, we have here the excuse me. We have here the the last row, which is the name of the letter. Let me say first off. Let me throw out a concept here. Russian is by and large a very phonetic language, which means that the alphabet does a really good job of very efficiently, with very few rules, representing the spoken language. There is a more or less one-to-one correlation for every sound in Russian. There's a letter, and every letter has a single sound. If you think of English and letters like G and H and C, you quickly realize that unlike Russian, English is a very non-phonetic language. If you knew the names of the letters in English, and then you tried to use that information to read English, you would be totally lost. I mean, think of words like, we could come up with hundreds of words like this, but the word thorough, who would ever guess that that word is pronounced thorough when we have another word like enough, which is written so similarly, and yet it is pronounced completely differently. Russian doesn't have that. It doesn't have consonant combinations like th or qu or gh, all of these consonant combinations in English that represent a single sound and that we have to use multiple letters to represent. It's a very pure, very logical system. The designers of the alphabet, people say Cyril and Methodius, two Macedonian monks, designed the Cyrillic alphabet, but that's not true. We now understand that the Cyrillic alphabet developed over decades, maybe over centuries, and was the product of many different intellectuals writing it, and they turned out to be really very good linguists. It would be hard to think up a new alphabet that is as efficient and elegant as the Cyrillic or the Russian alphabet. So we're really fortunate here. I say all of this because I want to point out that once you learn the names of these letters, Russian being a phonetic language, you'll be able to sound out words almost immediately. Think of those poor saps in France and in Germany learning English, and every vocabulary word that they learn, they actually have to learn a completely different word. When a German student is studying English, to learn vocabulary, every new vocabulary item has the word as it's written, which is difficult, and then it has the word as it's pronounced, and it's written in sort of code so that the German understands how that word is pronounced. So that's not true at all in Russian. You'll quickly learn that Russian is a very easy language to pronounce competently. It's a somewhat difficult language to get to the point where you sound good when you pronounce it, but very rapidly learning a very small set of rules and the names of these letters will allow you to sound out any word in Russian. Now, of course, you won't know what it means, but you'll know how it sounds. All right, so let's start this off. The Cyrillic alphabet is a hodgepodge. It is made up of letters from Greek. It's made up of Greek letters because the Greek Orthodox Church, the Byzantine Church in the 9th century, started to bring Christianity to the heathen Slavs, so they're the ones who came up with this alphabet because the Greeks were great. Unlike the Romans, the Greeks brought you your own alphabet and gave you your own liturgy, gave you your own Bible written in your language, while the Romans, when they moved through Europe and they baptized the Angles and the Saxons and the Franks and all of these heathen people all over Western Europe, when they were evangelized by the Romans forced everybody to learn Latin and forced everyone to adopt the Latin alphabet. The Greeks, on the other hand, they were very cosmopolitan, and they said, "Hey, we're bringing you Christianity, and here's your own books, and you can have mass in your own language, and you'll be kind of independent little churches, all within the hierarchy of the Greek Orthodox Church." So anyway, that's a little historical digression for why you'll see here that there are a bunch of Greek letters. Moreover, English is made up of a bunch of Greek letters as well. So you'll also see here letters that are both Greek, and they're also Latin letters, right? So we'll see some letters here that are, I call these just like English, That's one group. Yeah, and like I said, there's the Greek letters. There's also letters here that look familiar, but they lie. They are what the French would call faux amis. They are false friends. They mislead you. They look like a Latin letter, but they're pronounced completely differently. We'll call these tricksters. Yeah, these are letters that if you just take them at face value and think that they're Latin letters, you'll screw it up. So we have to draw special attention to those. And finally, we'll just put a category here called funky Russians. Yeah, these are the letters that don't look like Greek letters. They don't look like Latin letters. They look like they belong in some crazy alphabet like Russian. Many of these letters are actually Semitic. They come from Semitic alphabets. Semitic, I mean something like Arabic and Hebrew, that whole family of letters. The missionaries who developed the Greek alphabet borrowed some letters from the Semitic alphabet, and also the people who came up with the Cyrillic alphabet just designed their own letters every once in a while. And so inside of this funky Russian letters, what we'll end up putting are some Semitic letters as well as some sui generis, some uniquely Russian Cyrillic letters. So we have these four categories, and I'm going to take a break and start again in a second.